let's see here now. The work I've done today, let's see, is it very accessible? Well, I think the best way to show you is to go here to, all right, so these are the countries that I've been studying that are allied to various powers for arms sources. You see, if you are reliant on Russia for your armaments, you bought all your advanced systems from them, if you piss them off, you could lose the ability to operate your armed forces. So these are very serious matters to buy proprietary, advanced, expensive weapon systems from other great powers. So we invaded Afghanistan, so they buy from us. We invaded Iraq, they buy from us. Saudi Arabia buys from us. Egypt buys from us. Soon Libya will be, of course. Turkey buys from a mixture of different Western exporters. They have a little bit from every Western country. They take advantage of their NATO position to have much more advanced hardware, assuming that Western hardware is superior to Russian and Chinese, but more expensive. Okay, so now what we look at is countries that primarily import from Russia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, India, Iran, Vietnam, and they have the largest penetration into Africa. And then we can look here at Indonesia, and they import from China, Russia, Europe, and the US, and Japan is our other ally. So that's going to come in handy later. So let's walk through this foreign military sales business. So what I did here is I looked at our arms exports. So here's the U.S. arms exports. There's almost, I guess to give you a sense of proportionality, here is our arms exports in 2010. Almost all of it to the Near East. Western Hemisphere, $500 million, but it's $18 billion to the Near East and $6 billion to East Asia. Africa was a measly $22 million. So Africa does not import its weapons from the United States. So when we do a strategic map of Africa, we're going to expose its real alliances, because weapons source is where the buck stops. So so Asia is and the Near East, Middle East is where all the money is spent on U.S. arms. But India imports 82% of her arms from America. Pakistan has many more contracts, as far as I can tell, with China than the U.S. Burma, definitely with China. So at any rate, let's see here now. The next thing I wanted to show you is, so here's the U.S. export. So our main countries are Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. And then we sell a fair amount into Western Europe, a few countries here in Africa. As you see, these are amounts as little as $100,000. The biggest blue amount is $1 million. So these are very tiny purchases, whereas this is from 1 to 10 billion, the red ones. Australia, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Egypt, and let's see here, also Canada is in the higher range. So this shows how much is going on in our economy and who our primary targets are. And it's ironic that we're pumping arms like crazy into the most volatile region in the world, if you didn't happen to notice. Okay, so getting back, so here is who exports what to who. So the US, Russia, China, and Europe all are exporting. Latin America is just a tiny, tiny amount of the market. 3% for the US and 2% for Russia, 2% for France. So, it's under $500 million, the whole market. Africa is 23% of China's exports, about 100 million, and it is 9% of Russia's exports, about 250 million. And then we've got Asia, which is 22% of the US's exports, 13% of UK's, 39% of France's, and 62% of Russia's. Now that means that we're exporting, the US around 3 billion in, and Russia is exporting around 3 billion in, and then China is pushing in another 300 million. And then here's the net importers. This is interesting. Okay, this is Latin America, I see. Mainly US, Africa almost entirely Russia and China, Asia mainly the US, and then North Africa and the Middle East mainly the US. So okay, and then here are the countries that we've sold the most systems into: United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Iraq, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. So you can see why we didn't unseat the Egyptian military, perhaps, since they're 5% of our arms exports. And Japan, Israel, Korea, Jordan, Malaysia. But right in around here, we start no longer being the primary supplier, probably. Okay. Let's see here. I think that just about does it for that portion. So thank you, and good night, and good luck.